Hi there, good noon and welcome once again to our 17th session of the VARC season. 17th, that's crazy. We started a while ago and here we are. So we plan to continue to move ahead and work on VARC. We, as usual, of course, reading comprehension is the major part. So in all these sessions, I do keep a passage or two for you. So we will go through a passage. And then we have not explored para summary for a while. So we'll have a question on that, and then we'd also look at para jumbles. So that's the plan. And if you have any other take, any other suggestion, any other element or thing that you want to share with me, please do that. And I'd ensure that I at least accommodate it in my subsequent sessions. So give me the latest dope. How are you doing? चल क्या रहा है जिंदगी में आजकल? तैयारी तो चली रही होगी होपफुली। हाँ, और एक बार कैट की तैयारी जब सही होने लग जाए ना, खासतौर पे जब मॉक्स में परसेंटाइल नहीं आ रहा होता तो ज़िंदगी बचती नहीं है वैसे ज़्यादा। हाँ, ऑल ऑफ अस स्टार्ट पुटिंग इन लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट टू मेक श्योर दैट आवर कैट प्रेप गोज स्मूथ। बट व्हाट आर यू डूइंग अपार्ट फ्रॉम योर कैट प्रेप? बिकॉज दैट्स ऑल्सो एक्सट्रीमली इम्पॉर्टेंट। अपने इतना कल्चर नहीं है, बट देन there is a student of mine who went on to do a PhD in the UK, and one of the things that her guide said was, who is going to act as your mental support? So make sure that you have some support system in place, and if you do not find anybody else around, you can always reach out to me and we can work on it together. So Vishal says, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. Vishal, मतलब क्या समझ में नहीं आ रहा? When you say कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, तो मतलब क्या? थोड़ा और यार क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा स्पेसिफिक कर, तो मैं भी थोड़ा स्पेसिफिक आंसर दूँ। तो बोले कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, फिर मैं ज़िंदगी की बात करना शुरू कर दूँ। अच्छा, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा तो फिर हम जाएंगे मिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स पीछे, में बोलूँगा अच्छा एक टाइम था जब धरती आग का गोला थी, वहाँ से समझाना शुरू कर दूंगा मैं। क्या फ़ायदा है ना? सो मेक इट स्पेसिफिक एंड देन वी कैन गो अहेड एंड टॉक अबाउट इट। हाय सोनाली, श्री, Shraddha, what's up? What are you guys doing? So I welcome you to BYJU'S Exam Prep channel dedicated to your success as an MBA aspirant. If you are new to this place, this channel, make sure that you subscribe to us and do press the bell icon. My name is Vikrant. I act as your personal coach for all things related to English and communication. And there is this particular thing that I wanted to share, that now you can sample our course for 3 days. You can actually have a free trial. If you have not done that yet, please make sure that you do. So let's get ready. Let's dive into our passage and start our work together. Vishal, reading comprehension. Vishal, okay, before I start then, in that case, what exactly do we have in RC? RC happens to have a passage, and this passage is followed by some questions. That's it. So you want to understand this passage. It basically means that you need to enhance your level of comprehension. So work on that. Then it's possible that in general your comprehension levels are okay, but then you struggle with some specific areas, some specific subject matters, in which case you want to get into familiarity. Then you want to have this ability to generate a mental overview of the passage. Similarly, when it comes to questions, there are 21 question types in RC. So treat each one of them as a chapter and then go ahead and master those. So go ahead and master those 21 types, and that should generally be sufficient. And because RC is fundamentally a skill, I cannot emphasize this enough. Please read as much as you can, and then do not forget to practice passages. Okay. So here you go. Passage 1 on your screen. Now the first paragraph of this passage was very long. I normally try to go paragraph by paragraph, but unfortunately I'd have to split it into 2. But the moment you're done reading it, let me know in the comment box, in the chat box, and I will take you over to the next slide. And let's not forget that you and I happen to have a lag of around 15-17 seconds. So what I'm saying right now, or what I show right now, will reach to you after 15-17 seconds. So do adjust for that lag, okay? Don't get impatient. So there you are. Here is the beginning of your passage. Please start. Oh, Mamta had dropped in a comment, but the comment probably she deleted it or something. The easiest way to reach out to me is BYJU'S Exam Prep happens to have a Telegram group. You can join it. I am also part of that group, and whenever you need me, you can tag me while dropping in a message. That's as simple as that. So if you're not a part of the Telegram group, make sure that you do join it. And if somebody from the team is listening in, could you please share the link of our Telegram group in the chat box as well? Okay, done. Fantastic. Here is the next part of the passage. So we are wrapping up the first paragraph and then you have the second one. So are we through with this? Fantastic. Here is the last part of the passage. So third and the last paragraph on your screen. And this is a very touching paragraph. You are also out of school for a while now. I hope it resonates with you now. Done? Great. Oh yes, this is nostalgic. See, whenever you go to a school or a college, now let's not generalize, but at least in my case and a lot of other people that I know in their case, when we are studying there, we don't like that place much. And we notice and we see a lot of shortcomings. But with the passage of time, we start becoming more and more fond of that place. Right? So that's how it works. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our questions. Here is the first one on the screen for you. What do you think the answer should be? Arey Sri, learn to deal with it, yeah. Come on. What if this passage comes in the actual CAT exam? Will that still happen? Okay. Now, this is a question that I generally put under this category of structure-based questions. Occasionally, the examiner asks us this simple thing. Why has the author used an example? or an instance in the passage. So the purpose of an example or an instance. Similarly, when it comes to a person, there are times a person can be part of the key idea, but then there are times when you use that person to support something or elaborate upon something that you have said, right? So in this particular case, Noam Chomsky was mentioned in the first paragraph. Let me take you back. Here it is. So the author here starts with random surfing of the internet may lead to a collection of pieces of information that do not add up to any meaning. Now, whatever is said by Chomsky is essentially a reiteration of the previous sentence. This goes ahead and tells us more or less the same thing, isn't it? So why will we quote Chomsky then? So Chomsky is a big name in linguistics. Okay. Of late, he appears to be a slightly controversial figure though, but he's a leading intellectual nonetheless. And when your opinion happens to be consistent with the opinion of a big name, then citing that big name can be useful. It lends credence to what you say. हाँ, या सिंपल तरीके से बोलूं तो यार वो पेपर वेट का काम करता है. So what is the author trying to convey using this segment? The author is saying, yeah, technology should not be used haphazardly for education. Look at Chomsky. He also says this. So what is the point that the author is basically saying? Technology should not be used haphazardly or in an unstructured manner, whatever. So now when it comes to answering these questions, be it an example or an instance or a person, their main job is to support or elaborate upon an idea. So one of these four ideas is going to be supported by these, the other three won't be. Our job is to go ahead and pick up the one that gets supported. A lot of us have chosen B, but let's look at B. A relatively clear framework pursues any kind of inquiry. Isn't that making it broad? Isn't it going beyond the scope of what the paragraph wanted to convey? It's not about rephrasing what Chomsky said. It is about what is the author trying to suggest by quoting him. The author is trying to suggest that let's not use it haphazardly, and that idea is captured in option A using a slightly different set of words. So A says technology should be used in purposively structured manner in education. So what do you understand by this word purposively? Any guesses? Purposively basically means purposeful. It means something that fulfills a conscious purpose, fulfills a conscious design, and that's what we want, right? So this is what the author wanted to say. Technology should be used in a purposeful, structured manner in education, should not be used haphazardly. So it was not about what Chomsky said, it was about what the author was using Chomsky for. And that's where A scores over B. This question type is not very frequent, but when it appears, some people do get troubled. And I haven't really given you this question type in quite a while now in these 17 sessions. I think I used one in around 12th session or so, but it is good to go through these as this does get asked. Oh, so what if it is not that frequent? But then let us go ahead and look at a question that tests your critical reasoning, and that is something that's very frequent in the CAT exam. What's your take on 2? So premise basically means reason or basis or support, in case you did not know that yet. Okay, Rohit, see that? I think Prajwal, Shraddha and Shri have also answered. So, see, let me highlight one word first. Not a premise of the argument in favor of the need for schools and colleges. So, A is cited as a reason for why we need schools and colleges. This does support it. B is also cited. There is a sentence that says that it has lasted for centuries, so there must be something behind it. And then C is also given as a point to support. Now D supports a different conclusion. It is given in the passage, but then this goes on to support the fact that technology should not be used blindly or haphazardly when it comes to education. So it is a part of the passage, yes. It is a premise, yes, but it is a premise for a different argument and not the argument where we are talking about the fact that we need to have schools and colleges, and that is why our answer should be option D. Here is your third question. So, contextual interpretation. Okay, so yes, I can go with you. The correct answer is indeed C. Unity is contradictory, identity is irrelevant, and between B and C, unity in diversity has not been mentioned in the passage, so it goes beyond the scope, and thus C it is. And here is your fourth question. Okay, so let's see which of the following is not a learning outcome from pandemic. Let's look at A. Parents and students from around the world need schools. Yes, pandemic has definitely taught us this. So this is a learning outcome. Therefore, it is not an answer. B. Technology is undoubtedly and absolutely useful in education. Is this a learning outcome of the pandemic? Did we learn this from the pandemic, that it is undoubtedly and absolutely useful? The passage in fact says the opposite, that you cannot really use it blindly, and therefore this is definitely not a learning outcome. Let's look at C. Technology may be used meaningfully to mediate between schools and home among underprivileged groups. Absolutely, that is something that has been advised in the passage. So this is also a learning outcome. Let's eliminate C, and therefore our answer should be option B. Okay, some of us have actually have also chosen C. Should I talk about this in greater depth? So in the first paragraph there is a sentence that says, and I'm reading it out, Secondly, it has shown that technology may prove to be useful in education if it is employed thoughtfully. Random surfing of the internet may lead to collection of pieces of information but does not add to any meaning. That's what contradicts B. Okay, so that's why we should actually go ahead and pick it up. So Nani, question 3 has not been inferred. Question 3 was all about interpreting this word correctly in the given context. So this expression has been mentioned, and therefore I'd put it closer to a vocabulary question than an inference question. Okay. Here is the next one. What's your answer? दीपक एक बार रेफर करके देखिएगा पैसेज में, आप देखिएगा उसमें अंडर प्रिविलेज्ड का बोला गया है एक जगह कि दे आर द वंस हु आर गेटिंग लेफ्ट आउट, और उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं. So fifth one, what's your take? Okay, so absolutely correct. The answer is indeed option C. Mutually exclusive थोड़ी होता है. See, look at the word symbiotic. You remember reading it in your or going through it in your biology class? I think my earliest recollection of symbiosis, it was introduced in the bio classes, where it talked about a relationship involving two different types of animals or plants in which each benefits the other through its presence. So in other words, if I look at the terms that are used here, I'd say that it is a mutually beneficial relationship. Right? So in the last paragraph, the term symbiotic relationship has been used to show how rooms, libraries, assembly halls, canteens, playgrounds within a school are in a symbiotic relation with each other. So they somehow benefit each other. So that's why C. Mutually exclusive essentially means two things that do not interact with each other. Okay. So that's about our passage. Here are the directions for your next question. Sorry, it's just question number 6. I think I forgot to change that. So there are 4 sentences. You need to sequence them and share that sequence with me. There aren't going to be any options. You know that para jumbles happen to be a theta or a non-MCQ question type in the CAT. So here is your paragraph. What say you? Okay, so let me start giving you hints. Today, it and this philosophy, thus. So you just need to connect all of these clues in order to zero in on the right answer. which I think a lot of you have done. So basically first and third definitely go in together. I'm sure all of us have seen that. Thus shows the presence of a conclusion, right? And a conclusion is supposed to come after its premise. So which sentence can act as a premise for 4? Which sentence or groups of sentences? Can I put 4 after 1 and 3? So if I look at it this way, I think we need to start with 1, 3. That's something that all of us have identified. So the remaining 2 options now are 4, 2 or 2, 4. And we happen to have clues scattered. So thus is the biggest clue. Let's just use this. Can 1 and 3 act as a premise? We are not putting it 1 for Riddho because look at fourth. Fourth uses the present tense. First is talking about something in the past. So you need to have the transition to the present. So sentence 3 gives you present. Sentence 2 gives you present. So you need to bring in present in between. So fourth says, thus a vehicle is ready for the customer only if it passes the Ford zero defect program. So can third act as a premise? Would second act as a premise? No. Himanshu, sorry, Prajwal, 2 is not a conclusion. Where does it say it is a conclusion? So if I have to choose a premise for sentence 4, 3 appears better, thus. So they have a philosophy. This philosophy they had a philosophy at the beginning. That philosophy has endured. Thus, the results are consistent with that philosophy. And then you can always bring it and you talk about the situation today. Right? So I'd prefer 1, 3, 4, 2 because of the presence of the word thus over choosing 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, and with that, let's get into our next question. So in this question, you'll see a short paragraph which is followed by 4 summaries, and your job is going to be to choose the best summary. So, it becomes difficult to fit in a paragraph along with the answer choices on a single slide. So what I have done is that on slide 1, I have given you the paragraph in a proper font size that is easy to read. But on slide 2, you'll find the paragraph plus the options both. However, the font size is going to be smaller, so you'd have to indulge me, accommodate me a bit. So here is the paragraph. Read it, identify the key ideas, and then I'll take you over to the options. I'll give you 30 seconds for this. Persecuting others is harming them in some way. Okay, so here is the paragraph along with the options in a smaller font size. As I said, please accommodate and tell me what you think. Arey Himanshu, who does not? This is an actual CAT question. I think this appeared in CAT 2015. Let's see. Okay, so let us see. A says inertia makes your body and mind sluggish, but if you look at the paragraph, physically inertia means one thing, mentally it means another thing. Does that mean that there is only one kind of inertia that leads to physical and mental both impacts? No. So, and therefore the first sentence of option A is problematic. Let's look at C. Inertia is of two types, physical and mental. Okay. Physical inertia restricts bodily movements. Restricts, okay. Mental inertia prevents response to events enacted in front of your eyes. Are we talking about all the events in the paragraph or some specific type of events? So when I compare C with D, D says freezes your energy, stops your mind from responding meaningfully to events, even tragedies in front of you. So it's not that you're not able to respond, you're not able to respond meaningfully. So C misses out on that word meaningfully and ends up generalizing it. So between C and D, D is better, so let's rule out C as well. And since none of you have chosen B, we can look at it. When you have inertia, you do not act, although you see one person or one group, you don't get angry. This is missing out on that physical part altogether. So there is a deletion, whereas D accommodates it. So D is better than B as well. So let's rule out B too. So the best answer choice for us here is going to be option D. Okay. So that's about the practice part, but here is some food for your mind. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So in case you have been slacking off your preparation, in case you've been waiting for somebody to give you that push, this is the push. Start studying, start devoting enough time, and you can definitely create miracles the way Walt Disney did. And if you want more practice, you can head over to our app where we upload a daily section wise quiz. We also have a fabulous, highly recommended session coming on 17th of June, where you would get to interact with Vipula, who's converted IIM Ahmedabad. You can learn from the strategy employed by Vipula, and hopefully that can benefit. The chat is moderated by Gautam Baba. Okay, and if you want to get a great percentile like all of these people did through our help, you can also consider joining our comprehensive CAT prep program. There are two things that we are doing which will make this decision easy for you. The first one is a scholarship test that will be conducted on 25th of June, and the second is you can always go for a 3-day free trial and experience the course for yourself and then take a call, right? So that's it from me today. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and follow us on Telegram, Facebook, etc. You can reach out to me at any of these forums, and I would love to interact with you outside of these YouTube sessions too, right? And if you found this video useful, don't forget to like it before you leave. Until we meet each other next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Have a great day ahead, right? Take care.